Well, well, well. You might not be able to comprehend this, girls and boys, but it's pantomime time already. And every town and every city, almost every theatre in the land is going to be holding its Christmas show. And their first out of the traps this year on the stage and screen show is Theatre Clwyd's acclaimed rock and roll pantomime. And this year they're going to be doing Jack and the Beanstalk with a brand new script from the incredibly talented Welsh actor and friend of Calon FM, Mr. Christian Patterson. I popped up to Theatre Clwyd on Thursday evening and sat in on the rehearsals, which have been in full swing for the last couple of weeks now. And while I was there, I caught a word with the start of the show, Katie Elin-Salt, and Theatre Clwyd's legendary dame, back by popular demand, Mr. Phylip Harries, and the director of the piece, Zoe Waterman. So sit back and enjoy this interview with the cast and the creatives of this year's rock and roll pantomime, Jack and the Beanstalk, on the stage and screen show, Calon FM. It seems literally about 3 weeks ago that I was watching last year's Dick Whittington. Now we're back here doing this already. For you, Zoe, you must have started work on this months ago.
Yeah, I think probably started properly in February, and that was just the initial conversations around the script, talking about what the basic ideas of who the team were going to be, and we've got exactly the same creative team as last year, so the same designer, same musical director, same choreographer and everything, so getting all of that team together.
Yeah.
And then in June was when we did the auditions and things, so before that we'd offered to a few people from last year who we knew we wanted back, like Phil.
Hooray!
And it's brilliant actually. We've got 10 actors in the company and 5 of them were in the show last year and 5 are new, which is a lovely mix actually. So then we did casting in June, and around that same time, just before then, we're also doing the final designs, presenting all of them and everything, and then there's a bit of a lull in the summer and then picked up again. So we're in our second week of 4 weeks of rehearsals now, and then we've got a week of rehearsals in the theatre, putting all the lighting and the sound in, and then we open after that. So
because it is quite a long rehearsals process, isn't it? Because most pantomimes, I think they have about a week or something, and then they do the show for 3 weeks. But Theatre Clwyd's show, it's one of the biggest shows they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think panto is such a broad genre, and these stories are so brilliant, aren't they? The traditional stories, and lots of people do them in different ways. I think that the Theatre Clwyd approach is quite different to those ones that are just done in a week, because we're putting on a full, massive, basically a full-scale musical production. Yeah. And 4 weeks is actually, I guess, a bit short for a show of that size, so even though it might seem bigger if you just look at all pantos as the same, if you look at the quality of the work that we're doing, the depth of the work we're doing, and also that they all play instruments as well. Right. And I think there are 15 or 16 full rock numbers in it. So for the first 2 weeks, approximately half the time they're doing the music and half the time they're either doing the scenes or doing the choreography and things. So actually it's a shorter rehearsal process once you take into account all of that.
Katie, this is your first pantomime, is it?
Well, my first panto with Theatre Clwyd, yes. I did. I've done a rock and roll, I've done a similar act muso panto before in Leeds, and I did a panto a couple of years ago in Stoke-on-Trent, and obviously I've been in Theatre Clwyd many times, but my first foray into the Theatre Clwyd panto, both daunted and honoured.
Well, we were just saying, weren't we, in the rehearsal, Zoe, that trying to get everybody to be like a rock band, is that how it feels for you?
Yeah, definitely. And some like people experienced people such as Phil, have been doing it for years and years and years, so it's quite daunting coming into it all. But we've got a fantastic musical director, Tayo, who really puts you at ease and makes you feel like you are in a rock band. So.
But that was extraordinary watching that rehearsal there, because it went from just sort of like everybody getting their BVs together, and the next minute I felt like I wanted to clap at the end of it, and it's only been, half an hour. It's incredible, that.
Yeah, it's quite magic, and I think, a testament to talent in the rehearsal room, and also the musical director who makes all of the fantastic arrangements himself, that we're able to pick it up so quickly and crack on.
Well, I saw you in the Payne's Plough How to Be a Kid I absolutely love that. I wish I could have spoken to you after that, actually. But I mean, that's theatre bringing that into the new millennium, isn't it? And that was terrific, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Well, that again, How to Be a Kid was one of the plays that I did in the Paint Apply Rep season that comes up every year, and that was again engaging children with the theatre and engaging families. It was a family show, but in a very different capacity. There were no big band rock and roll numbers in that way. So I'm hoping that the families who came to see How to Be a Kid and enjoyed it will once again come and join us for a different show in Panto this year.
And what's your instrument? I mean, everybody plays more than one.
I feel very untalented because I only played 2, which is, I feel like the class dance, to be honest with you, Andy. So my main instruments are piano and violin, although I've not had my violin out of the case.
We might get it in.
Maybe.
We've got plans, haven't we?
But it's not very rock and roll, is it? Everyone plays these really cool instruments like the bass and the electric guitar, and I've just got my little violin in the corner.
Nice bit of rock violin.
Well, I could do a bit of an SMA, couldn't I? I'll try a bit of that.
Of course, they were very good with the rock violins, weren't they?
Yes.
Phil, we spoke last year, didn't we, after the show?
We did.
And I said to you then that a lot of people were really disappointed. There was almost another mould riot because you weren't playing the Dane. And to get that love from the audience before you even get here must be amazing.
It's amazing. Last year was great to come back, and with a new creative team as well.
Yeah.
That certainly had freshened things up and gives you new impetus. And to go out on stage and look out in the audience and see people whose faces you recognise and whose names you know, and some of them you've grown up, or they've grown up with you. Some of them were maybe 2 or 3 when they first came, and now they're in their 20s, and it's an incredible feeling, that.
And is this your 13th here?
13th, I think, is right. Unlucky for some.
Wow.
But not for me, no. Yes, 13 over a period of 16 years.
Yeah.
Is what it is. So there's been 4 pantos that I've missed out on in that period. Yeah, so
right.
That makes sense.
And you say it's the same team, Zoe, that was here last year and the year before. I mean, and you've got Christian Patterson back as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Writing it.
So it's the same. It's exactly the same creative team as last year. So yeah, absolutely. Christian came in as the writer last year, and Will Tuckett came in as the choreographer last year. And otherwise, the rest of the team actually came together to begin with for Sleeping Beauty, so this is our 3rd year together. So Mark, who does the lighting, and Adrian, who designs the set and costumes, and then Wills, who works here at the theatre and then also does the sound design for us, and Tayo, our musical director. It's our 3rd year together, and it's really great having an opportunity to come back together with the same team.
Yeah.
I really felt it last year, even from the year before, especially that relationship of me, Wills and Tayo doing the kind of the sound and the music side of it, and then working with Adrian on the set design and Mark on the lighting design, and how that all came together. And I think some of the things that we achieved last year, the big shipwreck in Dick Whittington, and how the set and the lighting came together in that was really only possible because it was the second time we'd worked together, and so we understood how each other thought and what the options and possibilities might be in this space. And it's what's so brilliant about Tamara and Liam at the theatre trusting us to come back again, is that we all know the space, and we know what some of the possibilities might be, and we know where we want to try new things and push new things, and it means there's a bit of a shorthand which allows us to get even more done in the time that we have, and even more spectacular things for our audiences, hopefully. So it's really lovely coming back together and finding those working relationships again and developing them over time.
I always see pantomime as a bit of a sort of end of term blowout for actors and everybody, but is that the way it feels? Is that fair?
Well, I think it feels that way for the audience. It doesn't feel that way when you're desperately trying to cling onto a harmony for 3 hours, But I think that we have a lot of fun in rehearsals. We have a lot of fun during the shows, and hopefully the audience will have a lot of fun watching us do it as well.
Yeah, and it certainly doesn't feel like that for me. This is actually my 4th panto this year, because there was the end of last year's Dick Whittington. Then I did Easter pantomime, and I've been working on a pantomime for S4C, with Shane Williams as the lead, the rugby player.
Right.
And that'll be full of celeb rugby players. And now this, so technically I've been working on 4, so it seems I've been doing pantomime all year.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, pantomime's not just for Christmas anymore.
No, but it never was. I mean, traditionally it kind of started on Boxing Day and went right through to Easter anyway, you know, all those years ago. And it's only in the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years I did it's got a bit shorter. But there's still a panto down in South Wales. Owen Money's theatre company, he still does panto, and they go on until the end of February. So you know, that's quite a long one.
Because I always say, by definition, it feels like get that most wonderful time of the year feeling at Christmas, and this Christmas we need that more than ever, don't we, in this country?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. And I think pantomime is so many people's first experience of theatre, many people's only experience of theatre, and for a lot of families, especially at the moment where money's a bit tighter, it's their big treat at the end of the year as well. So there's a lot of responsibility on us. I suppose that's why we're saying it's a lot of fun, but also we do take it really seriously, because what an amazing opportunity to introduce theatre to so many people and to be a big part of that big festivity at the end of the year for people. And there's nothing like it as a director at the end of a show to stand there looking around the auditorium at a whole audience up on their feet singing and dancing, little kids enjoying theatre for the first time, clapping along, all the silliness of getting someone up on stage and all of that. And it's a different feeling than you get with any other show, and it really brings home why we make theatre. It's about telling stories, it's about people engaging with the world that we live in and finding a way to live in a better world and in a better way, and what a brilliant way to do it, gilded with glitter and underscored with rock music. What a better way to end the year. So it's a real privilege, and it's, I think a lot of people can be dismissive of pantomime because they don't see it as proper theatre somehow, and actually I think in many ways it's the most important thing I do all year. You've got to respect it, and you've got to understand how important it is in the lives of the communities that come and see it. Oh yeah, definitely. And logistically, from an actor's point of view, it's 3 months. 3 months, and that's almost unheard of, really, to get a job in regional theatre for that long. I mean, it's a quarter of a year. That's incredible. And
also, you know, the show schedule is nothing. You know, the schedule for panto is nothing like the schedule that you have a normal show. You know, we're doing 2 shows a day most days, aren't we? I don't think we've got any 3 show days this year, but that can happen. And so it's really, you know, on the plus side, you tend to keep trim for New Year because you're running around so much over the festive season, so that's always helpful. But yeah, it's, you know, it is like we said, like it is a load of fun, but it's also we work really hard to make sure that everybody's having fun. So, you know, everybody sees us being really energetic on stage, but you don't see us coming off stage and going, "Oh, I'm so tired."
That's the thing. It's in the wings, isn't it? After coming off.
I always think they should do a fly on the wall, because you see people going, "Bye, everybody!" Oh.
Well, I've always thought that, you know, that I mean, this show, of course, it goes from the 22nd of November until the 12th of
19th of
January. 19th of January. So, is there a different feel to the whole thing after Christmas?
Yeah, there is a kind of a different feel. You've got that run up to Christmas, and then the week of Christmas and the week after you've got New Year's, and then it kind of then gathers a different kind of momentum, because you've got a lot of returners coming. A lot of people came to see the show at the beginning. They like to come and see the show towards the end to see how much it's changed.
Right.
And it does change invariably. You know, it changes. News changes, and then you go with topical gags and things, and you get to know each other better. So those last couple of weeks have a different kind of momentum and a different kind of fun as well. So it is different, and I do always look forward to those last couple of weeks.
Yeah. And I was only passing comment the other day, I'll let you go in a minute, but I was passing comment the other day that 4 years ago I was in a meeting in Mould, in a pub in Mould, freezing cold pub, and it was all about the theatre closing down. And 4 years, fast forward to now, I mean, the work that Tamara Harvey and Liam have done to the place, I mean, not just how it looks, but all the work that comes here. There's hardly a night where it's dark. I mean, they've worked wonders here, haven't they?
Absolutely. It's such a privilege to work in this theatre. It's so rooted in its community, and the massive success of Mould Riots and how many people were brought in and involved in everything is a real testament to that, and starting to have more Welsh language work and all of that kind of thing. It's so rooted in its community, but at the same time, gosh, is it punching above its weight on the national scale? I mean, going to the press night of Home I'm Darling in the West End earlier this year, seeing Tamara pick up those, such well-deserved awards, seeing the theatre nominated for Best Theatre, and think it's just, it's absolutely it's making work at the absolute toppest level in the UK. And it's rooted in its community and cares about the people around it. And it's really rare to be able to say both those things about a theatre. And it's so wonderful to work somewhere that cares so much about the audience and so much about the quality of the work. It's just, it's a wonderful, supportive place to work, but where there's a real push for excellence as well. And that's really rare, actually. And I think it's all testament to Tamara and Liam, but the whole team. I mean, every department in this theatre is so wonderful to work with. And making a show which has all the making departments as well. Again, a lot of theatres ended up having to get rid of all of their making departments decades ago at the point that there were arts cuts and things, and Clwyd is one of the ones that have kept it, that every costume you see, all of the sets are built, they're painted here, all the technical department putting all the lights into everything. It's so wonderful to be in a building with all of that skill and that craftsmanship around, at every single level of detail, and everything's made in-house here in Clwyd, here in Wales. It's it's a real privilege, and it's rare, and audiences here perhaps don't know that everyone's local theatre isn't quite on it and as brilliant as that. But as someone working across the industry, I feel really lucky to be back here for a third year. It's just a dream place to work, really.
It is, and the variety of work, in other places you've got different theatres for different genres of work, but I feel that here in Theatre Clwyd, you've got all the genres coming together. Everything that you want to see is here in one hub, and it's just fantastic to see.
It was always known as one of the best theatres in Wales, and I without any irony, it's one of the best theatres in the country by a long shot.
Absolutely, no doubt. Anyone would put it in that list.
Yeah. Marvellous. Well, I'll let you crack on because you're
very,
very busy.
Rehearsals,
Fantastic. I look forward to seeing. When's the press night? I can't remember.
27th of November.
Right, okay.
So we'll see you then.
Marvellous. And I'll be singing along.
Yes. Thank you very much.
You know the words now.
You're the one that I want.
So there you go, the cast and the creatives of Jack and the Beanstalk, Katie Elin-Salt, Phyl Harries and Zoe Waterman. Jack and the Beanstalk, the rock and roll pantomime. If you ever want to see a cast of 10 of the most talented performers you'd like to see in one place, get yourself up to Theatre Clwyd. It all kicks off on the 22nd of November, runs until the 18th of January, I think, not the 19th as Phil said. It says the 18th on the webpage here. I don't know. If you want to get yourself a couple of tickets, you can either go to the webpage, that's www.theatreclwyd.com/Jack and the Beanstalk. Or indeed, you can phone the box office, 01352 344 101. That's 01352 344 101. Go on, support your local theatres, girls and boys, and they will not be there forever if you don't.